Oh, sio. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit, tonight. It's, hold on just a minute here, let me take care of that. Anyway, here it is at 8:01 p.m. Central Time here in the state of Arkansas. It just looks like World War III. I mean, we already, World War III is in the very beginning stages, but we're talking about, looks like just maybe, possibly just some days away from being an outright full-blown World War III. Alright, in this one headline says, prepare to fight and beat Russia in a third world war, Britain's top general warns. Okay, now let me read this to you. I'll pull up this thing here for you. You can try to read along if you want. Britain's top army general has told his troops to prepare to fight and beat Putin's armies in a European land war. It has emerged tonight. General Sir Patrick Sanders, no relations to the colonel, like finger licking good, no, not that. He's not related to that one. Anyway, General Sir Patrick Sanders, who assumed overall command of the British Army this week, warned soldiers. So you're not hearing about this stuff right now because you got too busy you got these communist leaders trying to just finish off the rest of freedom, in that farce of a trial thing on trying to impeach Trump and anyone else they can get a hold of, what have you. But and other non-essential news, a bunch of crap, right? And you're not hearing about this, right? Anywhere else. There's some places where you can hear it. Sometimes it has to come from other sources other than our own in this country, because the communists who are leading this country are taking examples of what's going on in communist China and Russia and stuff, and then also now communist Canada. I mean, you're just not going to hear it, alright? And I just wanted to share this little bit with you, alright? Alright, he warned soldiers, we are the generation that must prepare the army to fight in Europe once again, as Russia's invasion of Ukraine rocked global stability. Now, I know that each one of you in Britain, and who's in the UK, in England, and in Scotland and Ireland, okay, that, and I have dear friends and that I consider my family there, and I hope that they get out. I hope that they can get out. But where are they going to go? That's a thing, but I hope that somehow that they can get out of the country. Because this is looking pretty bad. This ain't like World War I or World War II or the Vietnam War or the Korean War. This is a lot worse and a lot bigger, period. But anyway, a person has to make a choice. Let me read that again. He said that it said that he warned the soldiers, "We are the generation that must prepare the army to fight in Europe once again as Russia's invasion of Ukraine rocks global stability." Think about it. In a tub-thumping message to British troops, he wrote, "I am the first chief of the General Staff since 1941 to take command of the army in the shadow of a land war in Europe involving a continental power. The scale of the enduring threat from Russia shows we have entered a new era of insecurity. It is my singular duty to make our army as lethal and effective as it can be. The time is now, and the opportunity is ours to seize." And and that came due to Putin's, as Putin menaces NATO countries, and this week taunted former Soviet states in Europe. And see, have you seen our military? Yeah, we got some men in there, men and women that can really fight. However, they're being replaced. They're putting this new blood in there. It might as well be called the flower children of the 2000s, instead of the 60s. Except these are la-li-da, yeah. Or, we want to be called by our proper pronouns type people, right? Like in the Navy and other parts of the military, and they're replacing generals and commanding officers and stuff with communist type idiots, and what have you and stuff. And the news people, like your communist news network, for example, CNN, and there are other news sources out there that are socialist and communist, they're not covering all the things that need to be covered, because they're following the mandates of their glorious leaders, the communist leaders of this country, to be sure to give everybody anything and everything stupid and what have you, just to get their minds off of everything and on to other things that's not really important. And then if you ask too many questions, you're going to get arrested. You're going to be put into one of those re-education camps. And that's coming. Then they want to force you to eat what they want you to eat. No, don't get me wrong. People have been eating insects for thousands of years in other cultures and stuff. No one died from that. And they actually taste good. But however, though, here's my point, though. To force people into, they want to get rid of all the other sources of food, like meat, and stuff, and into insects and to food grown from petri dishes and stuff, to force it down people's throats. It is, and it's designed to make you dependent on them so they can control you. And they have to, first they gotta kind of make a lot of people disappear, so to speak, in different forms and ways. We all know what we're talking about here. And And then once they can get all that accomplished, it means less of a population to deal with, and it makes it easier to have full control. And I'm really shocked at how many of these younger generation, all it is, which is a me generation, they think that the government cares for them and wants to give them what they want by taking away everything, so that they can't own anything and that they'll be happy. Oh, they want to follow that. They're into gaming. There's nothing wrong for a little game or something, but dang, they're just so into it, they don't care. And some kids, grown kids, we're talking 17, 18, 19 years old, especially the 15-year-olds and 16, 17s, where their parents had took their gaming thing away because they didn't want to do nothing, and they'd throw fits and everything. Some of them even has killed or even threatened their parents. But you see what I mean? That's the kind of society we live in, and you got these communist leaders who wants to give full reign to these, well, you know what I mean. So what are you going to do? Right now, if people would learn, all right, the government works for the people. You have the grounds to fire them if you will exercise it right. You can do that. And who does the military work for? Oh, hello. So fire these bozos, these communist leaders, and try them for treason, like they did in the old days. The more you people sit around and you do nothing, the more control they get. I don't even have a big channel. I have a little voice. But if my little voice can get to someone who has a big voice, then maybe that big voice can start doing something, But look, Britain, at least they got the gall to stand up. More than what this country does. I've never seen a country led literally, quite literally, led by imbeciles. And in the words of my Uncle Silas and Grandpa Silas, idiots. Just idiots. And if you don't know what idiots are, it's idiots. Morons. Simpletons. Crazy nutcases that belong in a white coat. A brand new one at that. In padded rooms. And then some of them, they and a good majority of them in there, need to be tried the way they used to for treasonous traitors. These people are traitors. They shouldn't even been in there. They got in there, they snuck in there, done it illegally. They don't have no right. The guy who calls himself president, you don't even know what he is or who he is or half time where he's at. But the ones pulling the strings had put him in there, and they done it illegally. It wasn't legal to it. And the hammer is coming down a little bit too close to home, so to speak. So, yeah, you catching my drift. I am just stating what a lot of you are thinking or already are, some of you way ahead of me. But the thing is that the question is, what are you going to do? Are you going to get up and do something now? Because see, and for you to sit there and think that it's not coming and that war ain't coming to this country, bye-bye. Because see, I don't see how you'll ever last in this world, because you're in a fantasy world. You don't look at reality. You're only looking at me, what I want, and what my dreams are, because my dreams focus on me and no one else, and it's all about me. And you don't care how you get it because it's for you. And you're so focused on that, you'll take in any and believe any kind of lies and crap because of your fantasy world, and because those leaders who's nuts just like you are, if you're that way, then it makes it easier to deceive you, or anyone that's like that. It just makes it easy. We are in perilous times. And yes, the writing is on the wall. So what are you going to do about it? Are you just going to sit there and do nothing? Or are you going to get up and take charge like bosses? When you hire people, fire those people up there. If nothing is done about it, then you ain't got if you don't fire them, you ain't got no room to talk. You're sitting there talking about, we're going to do an election. Well, look, they didn't follow it before. Do you think it's going to work again? Seriously? What's wrong with you? It ain't going to work, because these devils has got money slid under the table, and they bribing people and this and this and that. And look what they're already doing. So it's time to think. What are you going to do? You're going to fire them? Because they are not even in there legally. And the overall majority never voted for these bozos. But sadly to say, some dead people did a lot of voting. And then some people that ain't even legal American citizens did some voting. And then you had some people that voted 4, 5, 6, 10, 15, 20, 100 times more or whatever. And it was no fraud. It was the Obama, Mr. Bammy, Mr. Communist Fidel Castro fan dude. He wasn't, and he isn't an American. He wasn't born a American citizen. He wasn't born an American citizen. And yet he became president. I mean, this guy's got so much fraud stuff and cover up. It's pathetic. But anyway, I digress. The thing is, he got in there because foreigners, they fished out money. People that are enemy of America helped put him in the office of president. Because there's a lot of money sliding under the table, bribes, and a lot of shenanigans and stuff. And then now that he's no longer in there, well, see, now, Trump kind of put a damper on that. And then now, okay, but, it's, when they had another election, once they got, came time for old Sleepy Joe to run, guess what? Yeah, you got it. Again, same kind of crap it was with Obama, except they did with this one. And the thing is, Obama's still running the show. And his ilk and the others that they got in there paid off. And some of them's got so many mental issues. I mean, they're ready for the nursing homes. And I'm not saying it to be like just to cut them down. I'm talking about they really, literally, you see it. They're way up in their years. They shouldn't even be in office. Their mental facilities is not functioning proper. They, if it was somebody else's, family members or stuff, if they were not even, if these guys were not even political, right? Just average Joes, they'd be put in a nursing home or hospice care or whatever, right? So, you know, you see where somebody's pulling strings, got them in there for a reason. And they're allowing these people to speak, and you got AOC, who ain't fully up there, don't have all the marbles. Camilla Schmieris, you know, her, yeah, and others who don't have their full facilities, and AOC in that one is not running on a full deck, you know. And they got them in power, having a position of power. It's a scary thought, you know, because they go to replace Sleepy Joe. You know, it's time to go Betty bye, and we're going to put you out somewhere so you can have your tapioca pudding and your ice cream and everything, and be able to talk stupid talk to the nurses and what have you, and smell their hair and what have you, and blah blah. Well, then, you know, you have the chameleon Harris put in as president, and guess how bad that's going to be. You know, etc., etc. I don't have to feel, you know, you got the message, you got the idea, you got the drift. You're starting to smell the coffee a little bit here. Alright, so it's time for every single one of us is to wake up and smell it and get rid of these bozos. Because, see, we are, now we have just stepped over the line of no return when it comes to this war. Thanks to these idiots, because they love the war machine, because it feels more money into the war machine's pockets, you know, and war brings money to those who are in power. Yeah. So it is time for us to do something. What are you going to do? This is the question. England's got more gall than this country, alright? The British people have more gumption than this country. Everyone else did America. Well, you know, hey, this country is divided, and this country will never stand when it's divided. This is a fact. Just take it. It's the fact, Jack. You don't have to like what I say. You don't have to believe what I say, but it changes nothing. It is the truth, alright? But, you know, you can feel, hey, share your thoughts. And I'd like to hear from you. And others would like to hear your thoughts on all this junk's going on. But, yeah, I mean, this stuff is happening, folks. And we're talking days away. So what are you going to do? You're going to still sit around, well, we're just going to wait around and see if it gets better. I got news for you. It will not get better, alright? This is already happening, alright? And so, if I was you, I wouldn't sit on my duff and be sitting there hoping and twiddling my thumbs and thinking, well, better days are coming, because they ain't. Yeah, I'm angry at the way these leaders, this country is doing, and nobody's doing nothing about it. Nobody's firing them. You know, and then we're a democracy, we're Americans, we're for freedom. Like, oh, shut up. Only time you are is when you get up and fire those bozos like you're supposed to. They are supposed to be for the people, by the people. Not the other way around, okay? So, don't talk your crap. You know, put your put your money where your mouth is, so to speak. You know that expression? Yeah. Get up and do something. And the more you sit back and you do nothing, you know, I've heard some of you say, well, if you don't vote, then you ain't got no room to complain. Well, let me turn it around on you. Well, if you don't do something, and I'm not talking about, oh, let's wait for election day. No. I mean, what kind of crap is that? You already seen the nonsense that's going on. Fire them. No, I'm not talking about going up and be these idiots that cause a big riot. You know, those idiots, you know, crazy. But you do it the way it is supposed to be done. You fire them. There's ways to do it without going through all that stupid nonsense. But the military, that's where the military is supposed to be coming in, because they work for you too. Your money pays their salary. So they should be going up there and arresting these people for treason and get them out of there. And then there should be people, I don't care what their skin color is, or if they're a man or woman or what, as long as they can do the job and do it right. But this country is not a communist country. But, or should I say, it wasn't originally. But it has become a communist country. And while there's still just a little bit of freedom, you better act on it and do something now while you can. This is my thoughts. So I will probably, I don't know, be uploading this tomorrow morning or sometime, which be the 22nd. And or so, either 22nd, 23rd, just depends, because I'm real busy. But I just want to share this with you, okay? So this is my thoughts, and I do love you, I do care about you. I just wanted to share this with you. So let's get our act together, guys. Let's pull together and be united instead of divided. And let's start getting on our knees. Getting on our knees and looking up to the great, beautiful one, the Creator, and looking to Him and praying to Him. And let's turn this thing around for the better, for ourselves, right? Alright. Alright, love you all. Be blessed, and I will catch you later. Take care, and I will see you in the funny papers. Later, y'all. I hope, and what dope.